All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy, was it Thursday today? Happy Thursday, guys. Day before NFP. So really quickly, we'll go over this setup quick. So this really was a very quick reaction. So I was waiting for this 1 minute fair value gap to form before sending the alerts in there. And I was in that same time, like setting the password or whatever for the Zoom call. And so this pops up in the very next 1 minute candle after this 1 minute fair value gap forms. Next 1 minute candle pops up, and you guys can see it's literally like one tick into that fair value gap. Didn't get the entry on Top Step. I market executed. Stupid magnet. Market executed on MetaTrader. I was gonna market execute on Top Step if it pulled up a little bit deeper. So full transparency and honesty. I kind of caught it, kind of missed it, just depending on depending on which account you talk about. But TP1 was right here. So at that point, you know, the idea is to be risk free and wait for further targets to be hit. Now, what I would say is I don't think this trade is completely dead and gone. I mean, like if we pull back, I don't think it would be a terrible idea to re-enter, but at this point you wouldn't want to chase this trade in my opinion. You know, if anything, there's a bearish PD array right here. Looks like that is ultimately going to respect. So institutional order flow entry drill would justify that maybe. So, you know, it is what it is. And it was just a super quick entry. I would say, you know, looking at the price action, you got unemployment claims that came out. Unemployment claims that came out at 7:30 my time, so 8:30 New York. And the price came out, or the release came out as less than forecasted. So that's good for currency, which would be obviously bearish for the indices. But looking at kind of higher time frame here, 15 minute, you got this low right here, which is the PM session low from yesterday. That's one possible target. And also a potential spot where you could look for bullish PD arrays to form, right? So that's one thing to keep in mind. And then the hourly chart, we've got these equal lows down here, which could be that long-term target. We had this low resistance liquidity run built up here as well with a weekly fair value gap above. So, you know, to me, this whole week is kind of a neutral week. Obviously, going into NFP week as well, you kind of can see this daily time frame. Ignore all the drawings. It's kind of, I'll hide them. So you guys can see the daily candles so far, right? You've got Monday right here, Tuesday tanked, yesterday eventually ended up capitulating higher after putting in these equal lows after just barely sweeping this over here to the left. And we're kind of just stuck in this little range right here. So that's why we're neutral. We've been neutral the whole time. You know, you should only, even if you are going to use those brokers, my advice would just be you know, you've got a portfolio, or you should have some sort of a portfolio in your mind. So like you've got money that you have invested in certain things that are low risk. Maybe it's index funds. I'm not like an advocate for like 401k or mutual funds necessarily, but let's just use that as an example. And then you've got obviously a portion of your portfolio that you can make more high risk investments with. For me, crypto and trading is that, because it is high risk and a lot more volatile. Obviously, we're day trading, and that's the money that you should use for your trading account, whether that's like 15%, 20%, 10% of your portfolio as time goes on, whatever it is. That's my best advice. But yeah, so no questions on the trade. It sounds like it was pretty straightforward. I'm trying to look for a re-entry for everybody else, and I would also like to take this trade on Top Step. So looking at price here, where would we like to get a re-entry from? 5 minute time frame, we are displacing through that low. To me, that's not going to yield any sort of reaction like it's sell side liquidity. That's just a low that's being displaced through right now currently. So let's look at this current structure right here. Yeah, that we talk about that institutional order flow entry drill. Bearish order flows here, folks. I would look here for bearish order flow to continue. You know, if you're looking for an opportunity to get in on this move, if we got more sell side yet to come. Put my magnet back on. So I guess I'll be taking this entry with you guys. I'll be just taking it on Top Step though. For oil, I would like to see price on a 4 hour get above here, and I would like it to get above this inefficiency before we start getting bullish. I was just about to say we could get long right here in this little 5-minute gap if we got a pullback. But looking at the 4 hour, I think we're better off just to wait. Holy shit, here we go. I would say if you guys would like to start getting shorts inside of this inversion gap, you could do so. Planning to go risk-free once we take out this low. See if we can get that pullback before. Going with about a 5-point stop, 4.5-point stop. There we go. All right, so I got the fill that I wanted. Just market executed it. See if we get this reaction we want now. Really wasn't anticipating there to be another stop raid. I was looking at these highs that got swept, this gap that got mitigated, sold off, strong sell-off. Guess I wasn't anticipating another stop raid, but we're kind of struggling to break through this area now. But yeah, this is why I went on. I've had long talks about this before, but you know, this whole like institutional order flow entry drill. You know, when we get a big trendy day, people are like, you could have taken this gap, this gap, this gap, this gap, this gap. Why did we not take any of these gaps? And this is why I don't like getting in moves later, because they're just lower probability. I love trading. I only love trading when you're trying to predict every little movement. Oh my god. Well, so much for that. This is annoying. But anyway, yeah. Looking at it on the 1 minute, there really is nothing I would have done differently. I really feel like this shouldn't have happened, but it did. That's why I guess they don't hire me to code the algorithm, huh? So I guess what I'll say is this. I'm just going to say I'm waiting for this trade. If it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. Yo, what's going on, YouTube? So just wanted to include this in the video and just show how that last trade played out, because we weren't on Zoom anymore by the time it came back. So this is looking at S&P on the 3 minute, and it did activate during lunch hour. So I told people if they wanted to take it, I would just maybe de-risk a little bit, or if they didn't want to take it, they didn't have to take it either. But basically came back, entry was off this breaker, stop loss above this 3 minute fair value gap candle high, and price gave us a little bit of a headache with some drawdown, sold off. Lunch low, 12 p.m. New York, was the TP1. So we literally hit it to the tick, TP1, and the rest was stopped out at break even, anticipating price to sell off lower to this low, and then there were other lows on the higher time frame below that. But price just shifted completely bullish, and actually ended up taking out the unemployment data, or I should say New York open high. But we left this high intact, which was interesting, that we only swept one. Obviously that'll probably come into play tomorrow, I would guess. But this is how the day pretty much ended up. Pretty much a break-even day on Top Step, and caught the main trade obviously here. TP1, 2, and 3 was this 4 hour fair value gap. I thought this was going to sell off as well and come take out these lows on the 1 hour. And as you guys can see, didn't have the juice to make it all the way down there, which is kind of interesting, but it makes sense. We've been neutral all week and couldn't get that clean sell off through those equal lows just yet. But again, maybe we'll see that tomorrow.